patients.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, I'd like to hear from you what you think I should be doing. And how we, because I think one of the honest dilemmas that FDA had was how do you make drugs available, particularly opiates, to chronic pain patients without making it, without starting a nationwide epidemic of opiates. So I would love, and Stephanie will, if you have ideas about how to thread that needle, I would love to hear them, because I think that is one of the genuine dilemmas that, we have to figure out how to deal with that. If you write your information, if you have an idea about that, about how to solve that, I'd like to hear it. And if you can contact us, or give her your information, and we'll contact you and talk to you about it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi. Yes, on that same front, about alternative care for medical and health issues, being able to go to a doctor when you really need to go to a doctor and feeling like you can trust them to do what you want done instead of what their system says to be done. And along with that, getting insurance companies and Medicare to pay for alternate care that might help people with chronic pain without going at. What can you do for that?
I mean, it's not just that it's not covered. There's an active war on natural health.
Yes.
And I'm going to change that.
Yes, thank you.
I know I can change that, and I'm going to, my first week in office, I'm going to go down to NIH, and I'm going to get all the employees, and I'm going to just say, some nice things to them about government service, et cetera, but I'm also just going to say, they have a $42 billion budget that they distribute to 56,000 scientists. And what do those scientists do? They do mainly two things. They study infectious disease and how to make new ones, which is crazy.
Crazy.
And how insane is that?
Yes.
They're doing that still. And then the other thing they do is they develop, they incubate drugs for the pharmaceutical companies.
Yes.
To treat the chronic disease epidemic that they helped start.
Agreed, yeah.
So, when my uncle was president, 6% of the country had chronic disease. By 1986, 11.8% had chronic disease. By 2006, 54%. And we don't know how many today because NIH stopped publishing that data.
Right.
A study came out that said about 2 weeks ago, that 1 out of every 7 kids now has autoimmune disease. Mm-hmm. That's not normal. We have the highest chronic disease burden in the world. And we know it's coming from an environmental toxin, or
Absolutely.
A lot of them.
Yep.
Because genes don't cause epidemics. They may provide a vulnerability, but you need an environmental toxin. And we're the sickest country in the world. We have the highest chronic disease burden, and we have, our kids are the sickest generation.
Yes.
We've gone from just autism alone, 1 in 10,000, and my generation today, 1 in 10,000 people, you're not going to see 69-year-old men walking around with a non-toilet trained, non-verbal, head-banging, stimming, toe walking. I've never seen it.
Right.
Right? But, 1 out of every 34 of our kids look like that.
Yep.
Something happened.
Yep.
And all the lies they say that, we just didn't notice it before have been proven again and again to be baloney. Mm-hmm. Why aren't we asking that question?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Why?
Why did peanut allergies suddenly appear in 1989? Why did eczema appear suddenly in 1989 and go epidemic? And all these autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile diabetes, Crohn's. Who ever heard of Crohn's disease? Our age? Nobody. What about or lupus? All of these suddenly appear. All of them around 1989.
Yep.
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay. And why is nobody? Those 56,000 scientists. Why is nobody asking that most important question? And by the way, during COVID, we have the worst body count on earth.
Right.
I don't know why. We have 16% of the COVID deaths in our country. We only have 4.2% of the globe's population. Why are people getting awards for how they handled COVID?
It's horrible.
Right? We literally did worse than anybody on earth. So the CDC says, well, the reason all these people died was not because of bad management, which definitely it was part of it, but they all have chronic disease. And they had the average person, this is according to CDC, the average American who died from COVID had 3.8 chronic diseases. So they had obesity, they had diabetes, they had asthma, and one other thing, right?
Right.
That's the average. Some of them had 10.
Right.
So, and nobody else has that in the world. So what happened to our country? You know, and what you can say is, it wasn't COVID that was killing. It was chronic disease. It was bad health.
It was the medical
And,
complex.
you know, the COVID pushed them off the cliff. But it was the chronic disease that walked them up to the top of the mountain and put them right on the edge of the cliff where they could be pushed off. And why do we spend trillions and trillions on COVID and not a penny on finding out what that was?
Right.
Oh,
Good job. Thank you.
I'm going to change that.